Hi there, welcome to this week's Counter-Strike game and skin market update. This is Skinomics2 and this video covers the 3rd to 9th of June. This is already the 29th video on this channel. Thank you for joining my journey so far. Anyways, we have one headline news item this week before we move into our usual routine. I have added some more stats under the case prices section as well. The headline news this week, which is dominating gaming news everywhere, is the first actual transaction to be performed at over $1 million. It is for an one-of-a-kind Stat Track factory new pattern 661 AK47 Case Hardened. The odds today of unboxing one is about 1 in 20.46 million. The trade was overseen by ROFL Monster on Twitter, and the final price was undisclosed but between 1 and 1.5 million US dollars in cash equivalents. This beats out the previous largest transaction by a wide margin, which was 780,000 US dollars for a non-Stat Track 661 and a Dragon Law, both adorned by 4 Titan hollow stickers. I want to quickly mention that this is not the most expensive skin in the game, but rather only the second most expensive. The most expensive, estimated at over 2 million US dollars, is a pattern 387 Karambit Case Hardened that is in the hands of a private collector that is unlikely to sell. Moving on to our usual content now. This week's weekly craft idea is again quite cheap but a unique design. By using 4 pen gaming stickers from the Copenhagen Major and rotating them by about 30 degrees, you are able to create a unique pattern on the side of any white weapon. The weapon showcased on screen is a Galil Tuxedo. The Copenhagen version of the pen gaming sticker is the only version which is black. Previous iterations from the Paris and Stockholm Majors are white. These can be used to create a similar finish on a black weapon. Now let's dive into the skins market. The market is down again for the 4th straight week in the portfolio of skins I selected to represent it. Coincidentally, this is also the 4th week from when Buff started to make changes to its marketplace. First by removing cases, then by banning foreigners. The lack of stabilization is hurting the market badly. We still do not have a centralized winner for the CS skins trading in the Western world. Breaking the market movements down into categories. Starting off with knives and gloves, they are mostly down again this week. Vice gloves with the exception with a very minor gain. Higher tiered weapon skins are also in line with the overall market. Surprisingly, the AK47 Case Hardened experienced a significant drop despite the most expensive 661 being sold this week. Next, Agent skins are down this week again as well. Goggles dropped 6.05%, which is quite rare. Lastly, the cheaper weapon skins are in line with everything else. In cases, we see unboxing numbers taking a further drop this week. However, I note that CS Case Tracker has not been updated today, so the numbers might be a fair bit higher than what you see on screen. Starting from this week, I am also taking data from CSROI to show what are the returns on opening each of the cases I track, and the average chance at profit at any given case you open. This will serve as a reminder to one not to open cases. The 2 numbers are highlighted showcase a case that has very expensive items overall, compared to a case where the only expensive valuable things are the knives. The chances of making a profit are much higher on the weapon case as its pinks and reds are expensive as well. In terms of prices, non-active cases have gained quite a bit this week. However, the active cases were a much more mixed bag. The only gain was the Dreams and Nightmare case, and the Kilowatt case is correcting itself to a lower price as the hype around renting skins have cooled. Moving on, let's take a peek at this week's biggest winners and losers. In winners, we have the Stat Track Glock 18 Dragon Tattoo, which can be traded up to the AK47 Case Hardened. No doubt people are trying to replicate the big sale from this week. The Nova Graphite can be used as a fueler in trade-off contracts, which I think why it has gone up. And lastly, the USP-S Whiteout has gone up in price most likely due to inherent demand and possible trade-ups to the Emerald Glock Doppler Gamma. In losers, we have 3 more straightforward items. The Candy Apple 5.7 is very infrequently traded, and a very low float one was sold last week for more than the market price, biasing the trends. The other 2 are stickers we have covered in previous winners lists. The Astralis Gold has been fluctuating 30% week in week out, which is quite mad to be honest. Let's take a look at game news. There was only one game update this week, and it fixed some minor bugs, nothing too interesting from what I noticed. Now we turn our attention to the pro scene. Stewie 2K took home IEM Dallas last week. I am quite stoked about that victory still. This week, we had the Yalla Compas competition hosted in the UAE. At the time of writing, the final is to be played between Mongolz and NIP. Mongolz has beaten Astralis, Heroic, and ENCE in this tournament. I think they are firmly tier 1 at this point, which is very exciting for the Asian region. Looking at transfers, 9 Pandas swapped out 2 of their players. Vision signed Flying in placement of G. And lastly, Simple's classes have now been launched. It is quite expensive, but from what I heard, can be somewhat useful to get better at the game. And that's it for this one. See you next week, and I hope you're having a great week. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more and comment detailing any suggestions you may have. Thank you.